Hi guys, welcome to Intelligence Blueprint. Today we are going to have a different kind of setup. I am joined by a good friend of mine. I can say a lot about her, but the reason I invited her for this particular video is because she has inspired me into a lot. She's a close friend of mine. At first I asked her to be a mentor for me and she said she was going to be a big sister, and she has been. And today we're just privileged to have her. So allow me to introduce myself for those of you who do not know me. My name is Monica Malakwen. I'm an interior design expert, and I help convert interior spaces into beautiful and functional spaces to work and live in. I'm going to allow my guest to introduce herself. Welcome.
All right, thank you very much, Monica. My name is Watelli, and like you rightly said, I'm your big sister. I've known you now for quite a while. I remember meeting you when I came to address a ladies' conference at your church quite a few years ago, actually, possibly 5 years now. And so we've been friends ever since. I remember the breakfast meeting we had after when you told me you wanted me to be your mentor. And I said, I'm not very big on titles. I'm not sure what a mentor does, but I'll just be your big sister where we can, sit down and have this relationship and really learn from one another, because I can't say that I'm the one who knows it all. I might be around a lot longer, but that doesn't mean that I know it all. So we just learn from one another. It's a great privilege for me to be here.
Awesome, Christine. You truly have been a big sister. And yes, so for the Intelligence Blueprint is just a community of people like me and you who love to do their interiors, would love to improve their interiors. I know you're part of them. And recently I was just inspiring the group to just share of their skills, because I am doing this because I would just love to help other people improve their interior spaces. But all of us here are specialized in different categories, in different things, and in the spirit of sharing, I just wanted to invite the members to just share of their skills as well. And the main reason is because I had to do this. We've walked that journey together, and I would just like you to share a word with them as well on why it is important, to do this. And so just take it away.
All right, thank you very, very much, Monica. I actually like when you called and gave me the title you wanted us to have of this conversation. And you said you wanted us to talk about the business of knowledge. And I thought that was brilliant, because a lot of the times we're not sure what business we are in. I might be in the business of selling cabbages. Another person might be in the business of selling shoes. Another person may be in the business of selling training. I'm in the business of selling training. You're in the business of selling improved interiors, workplaces, homes that look better, interior decor in general. What do all of us have in common? We are in the business of service. All of us are in the business of service. Whether we sell a tangible product, I could sell you this phone, or I could sell you the connection of the phone. Both of us are in the business of service. Now, regardless of the job you hold, regardless of the business that you're in the business of service. I actually like what one teacher said at one point. He said, how do you make money? It's very simple. Find people to serve. Find people to serve. A lot of times you go into a conversation, you go into a transaction looking for what's in it for me. That's the wrong way to approach business. You want to go into it wondering, how am I able to serve? How am I able to serve? If you want to make more money, serve more people. A lot of the times we are taught, and all of us have been taught to become givers, and it's important for you to be a giver. And I talk about this in my book, Play to Win. There's a lot of ways in which you can be a giver. Most of the time we are encouraged to give of our money. We are encouraged to give of our time, but not so often are we encouraged to give of our information. There's knowledge that you have, there's something that you know that could literally save my life, quite literally. There is something, for example, if you taught me how to drive safely, you're literally saving my life, because I could get behind the wheel and not know what the hell I'm doing and crash into a tree when you had knowledge that could have saved my life. So that knowledge quite literally saves my life. So if you're going to become a giver in any way, I would propose that you become a giver in the area of knowledge. I've been asked this question a lot of times. Am I not then spilling the beans? Am I not Let me actually give you an example. The very first time, whenever I do a book, I always do an audiobook to go with it, so that then you can, and when I started to do books, that was at least 15 years ago, that was before there was all of this YouTube and all of that. And so I would do a book and then I would do an audio, which came in the book as a CD. Now, I remember at one point, somebody asked me, what if someone duplicates your CD? What if somebody sells your audiobook? I said, I hope they do. As long as they are going, they are going to duplicate my CD and they're going to put my name there, Christine Watelli. I wish somebody would produce 100,000 copies of my audiobook and distribute it around. That would market me. But most of the time, what do? We hold on to the information that we have. We think that if I'm the only person who knows what it is, then I'm going to be, I'll have the monopoly, quote unquote, of being able to sell this information. Many times we do that trying to save our businesses, we end up hurting our business. Now, if, for example, and I love what you do, Monica, you come on this channel and you teach us how to improve our own decorative spaces. Now, let me use an example when you told us to do our Christmas decoration. I'm not the best person at decorating my own house. My mom used to do a much better job of it. By the time we opened school in January, the Christmas decorations were still up. So I remember going to school that day, and then I came back from opening day, and my mom had pulled down the decorations. I was like, oh, the house looks different now. My mom was very big on such things. I'm not. But I'm listening to you, and you're saying this is how to decorate your Christmas tree. The more I'm watching the video, the more I'm thinking I'm not equipped to do this. So what do? I call Monica. Monica comes to my house, and Monica decorates my house. In other words, the more you educate people about your specific line of work, the more they realize they need your service. So you teaching us how to do your work, you teaching us, you sharing this information with us is actually you marketing yourself. So I always recommend to people who want to grow their business, start teaching people whatever that business is. If today, for example, you're a chef, if you run a restaurant, how can you grow your business? Start a channel where you're teaching us how to cook. Because as you're teaching us how to cook, you come across as an expert, so that the next time I have an event, who will I call to cook for my event? You're the obvious choice to come and cook for my event. So whatever business you're in, I would recommend that you share the information that you know, whether you share this in video, whether you start a blog. Nowadays, there's so many ways in which you can share information that will not cost you a penny. Everybody has a smartphone. I have said this 1,000 times. The first time I did a video, I did not have any fancy equipment. Right now, I'm looking at a lot of things which I didn't have when I started. I just took a phone and I placed it on a stand and I started talking. Actually, at that point, I had a phone that the back camera wasn't working very well. So I used the front camera. I placed my phone on a stand facing me and I started talking. And I did not even edit that video. As soon as I liked what I shot about 3 times, because you wouldn't get it right the first time. I shot it 1 or 2 times. When I was happy with what I had, I shared it with my friends. Just start.
That's a very good point, Christine, because most of us struggle with how do we even begin. I have done this for some time. Yeah, in the recent past, not compared to you, but I'll admit that I am still a bit tense and a bit uncomfortable when I'm about to do it. And I know most of us, that is a struggle that we have. How do you overcome that?
You know what? Being nervous before you get in front of the camera, before you get in front of the audience, before you hit upload on your blog, whatever it is, that nervousness is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Embrace it. It's not a bad thing. I usually feel physically ill before I pick up the microphone, especially when I speak to a big crowd. And right now, I'm so excited that we are back to physical training. I'm very excited because there's nothing that beats one-on-one interaction. But when I'm being introduced, when it's time for me to stand up in front of the camera, in front of the audience, I am a nervous wreck. I hate myself. I'm like, what am I doing here? Why do I do this to myself? But as soon as I start talking, it's over. I relax. I zone in, I get into the spirit. I then now begin to channel the information. I later on listen to something I said and I'm like, I wasn't even saying that. It was channeled through me. So the nervousness is what tells you that you're taking this seriously. The nervousness is what tells you that this is important. So it helps you to prepare more. The best thing that you can do is to prepare. I remember one time I was going to give a an important speech. It was the biggest speech I had given up to that time in my career. There used to be something that was held once a month. It was called the Leadership Forum. It was by the British Council. And so one day my phone rings and I'm invited to come and speak at the Leadership Forum. It was a huge membership event. It used to happen once a month at the Stanley. And they used to invite professionals from different areas, people who work in management from different organizations. Some were sponsored by the organization, some were self-sponsored. And they had some TV personality as the MC. And so I was like, what's the Leadership Forum? I wasn't aware of it when they invited me. And they told me, actually, we're having the first one tomorrow evening. Maybe you come and attend because you will be speaking at the one next month. When I went to listen to it, the person speaking that day was the managing director of the East African breweries at the time. If you were trying to get me to panic, there was no better way to do it. I was freaked out. I was like, whoa, how am I speaking? And then at the end of the forum, they're like, next time we're going to be having an author. Her name is Christine. I'm in the audience trying to shrink. I'm thinking next month I'll be there. I was very, very, very nervous. So a month later, it's time for me to come and make the presentation. You can imagine, of course, I spent the whole month writing my speech. I wrote it, shredded it, wrote afresh, deleted it, started, wrote, no, I'll tell this story. No, I won't tell this story. Prepared. When I finished preparing, it was time for me to go. I organized someone to come and take the video. I organized for someone to come and take the pictures. I organized, of course, I was coming with my team, and so I figured, whoa, my laptop might not work that day. So I backed up the speech. I saved it in a flash drive. So I said, if the laptop has gone off, the flash drive won't work. So I printed the speech. And then I thought, what if the lights are out and I can't read the speech? By the way, I had the backup of the backup of the backup. And none of that was even necessary because I knew the speech offhand. I had memorized it and memorized it and memorized it. What am I saying? I'm saying that your nervousness makes you prepare better. So don't let your nervousness, don't let your hesitation be why you don't do it. Don't wait. I call it waiting for the lights to line up green. Sometimes from where I'm seated, there's a few roundabouts before I can get to the city center. If I was going to park my car on the road and wait for all the lights to line up green before I get to town, I would never leave. Because the way life works is I drive from one roundabout to the other one and wait for the lights to turn green. Then I drive to the next stop and then the lights line up. They turn green and then I drive. So if you know where to start, that's all you need to know. Just get started. A lot of times we hesitate. A lot of times we wait for the circumstances to become perfect, but the circumstances will never become perfect. I have been through situations. I remember when I launched my first book, everything was going crazy. I remember the caterer canceled on me the day before. The event was tomorrow, and on today, the caterer canceled on me. At that point, I was going through crazy financial challenges. My children were home from school and I still had the book launch. In other words, things will never be perfect. If you're waiting for life to become perfect, it never will while we're here on planet Earth. So will you feel nervous? Will you feel a hesitation? Will stuff be, will things be imperfect? Yes, they will. It's called life, but just keep it going. So the way to grow your business is to teach. Don't wait to be ready. Don't wait till you're maybe just the word is ready. For everything to look perfect, it never just happens. It never just happens. And another point I'd like to make, I was just talking about it actually when I was doing a video a few minutes ago. And I was saying, don't wait for people's approval. Don't wait for people's approval. I've had a very, very interesting week of receiving some video feedback. I get some very interesting feedback out of my videos because I do videos every once in a week. And if you want to find my YouTube channel, it's Christine Mweteeli. I call it Life Lessons. And so I share the lessons I'm learning through life in what I like to call learning aloud. Whenever I'm learning something, I will share it with you. So I do videos every once a week. So I get this interesting comment. Someone calls me and says, why do you always wear short sleeves? And I say, sleevelesses. Yeah, why do you wear sleevelesses? And I'm glad Monica is wearing sleeveless too. So possibly we are aware of the weather in Nairobi. And this lady is asking, I think I'd actually done one video where I wore a long sleeve dress or something like that. And so she said, at least this time you covered your arms. And I thought, wow. I go to so much lengths. I write scripts. I go through them. I rework them. I go through life with my antenna up, trying to pick up lessons to share with people. And all you see is the fact that my arms are showing. That tells you that people have a very different perspective. You can't try to please people. Don't try to get approval from people. That same week, I got another phone call from somebody who says, oh, wow, I haven't been on your channel in a while. I see you're getting better. Keep going, keep doing you. And I thought, how interesting. One person is approving of what I'm doing. One person is, all she's seeing is my arms. And I thought to myself, you really can't do anything if you wait for people to approve. Human beings are like that. They're not going to approve what you're doing. Don't try to please everybody and don't seek everybody's opinion. If today you have an idea, I'm going to start an interior decor business. I like what Monica is doing. I'm inspired. I'm going to start an interior decor business. Nothing wrong with that. The way to not do it is to start asking all your friends and family, what do they think? Because as soon as you start asking people, what do they think? We're in a political season in Kenya. Say I wanted to run for governor of Nairobi. And I sit down with my family and tell them, guys, I'm running for Nairobi governor. What do you think they'll say? Don't bother, you will never make it. These are very well-meaning members of the family. But chances are they will disapprove of my dream. And some of them might be doing this from jealousy. Don't think everybody is happy for you. Don't think everybody is happy. Yeah.
I really like that you are highlighting some of the obstacles because those are true obstacles. When you do not know exactly where to start from, you're thinking of how do I go all the way? What do I need to prepare? Do I need to shoot videos? You know, you're scared of what people's opinion and how they are going to react to what you're doing. Sometimes you do not even have the confidence within yourself. Maybe I can just give an highlight from my own experience. Not knowing where to start from, and I'm having this push, and thank you so much for actually pushing me that much to actually be able to start out. But what I can say is maybe before you can even begin, doing your own channel and maybe doing your own group or sharing regularly, I think the one other way of starting is just making a contribution in the groups you are in. For example, if you're in this group and some of the members in the group are also interior designers like myself. And once in a while, you'll find that people ask questions. Like we have a day in the week where I just open the floor and people ask questions. You can start right there by making a contribution, by asking, by helping to answer those questions, because you could know the answer, but you feel like you're too scared to answer. But using such platforms, you can start making a contribution. And even eventually for those of us who are already content creators and we have channels, making contributions in other groups that are related to what you're doing makes a lot of impact and a lot of difference, because people get to know you and people get to get familiar with what you're sharing, and they'll be able to reach out to you.
Beautiful.
Yes, so
I agree with that. That is, I think most of the time what will stop people, if for example, someone is listening to us here and is a member of your audience and they are also in the interior business, possibly the one thing that will stop them is the fear of competition. They're thinking, if I contribute to Monica's channel, I'm going to be drawing more attention to Monica, and Monica is my competition. What I would say to that is this: perish the idea of competition. Perish the idea of competition. I don't know how many of the people who are watching us are in Nairobi, but let me give an example of a street in Nairobi called Moi Avenue. If you walk down Moi Avenue, a majority of outlets sell chips and chicken. If you think about it, a majority of those shops, when I was growing up, literally all the shops on Biashara Street sold fabric of some sort, curtains, dress fabric. Nearly all the shops on Biashara Street sold fabric. Right now, the example that comes to my mind is Moi Avenue. You could go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the doors are selling fries. And if you walk by in the morning, you see new chickens going around the rotisserie, meaning the ones they were there in the morning were sold already. I'm saying this to say there's more buyers than sellers. I'm saying this to say there's more houses in Nairobi than you want to decorate. There is more offices coming up than you want to partition and design. In other words, there is no competition. There is no competition. One of my closest friends is in the training business. I've lost count of how many trainings we've done in collaboration. We've flown across the world together, collaborating and doing programs together. She's a very different personality from me. Her line of work is different from mine. But when we come together, we bring our strengths together, we bring our networks together, our connections together, and we've made a lot of money working together. The people in your business will not hurt your business, they will sharpen your skills. If I was into interior, I would want to hang out with Monica because I can learn a lot from Monica. If Monica has a channel, I'd like to contribute to her channel. I really love what you're saying. Before I can perfect my own skill, before I can start my own Facebook group, how about I join Monica's Facebook group and see how it's done? There's a lot that, as I think if we go back to the idea of serving, if I'm driven by a want, by a need to serve, then you will find that I'm not becoming closed in. I'm not keeping the information I have to myself. And so people are learning from me. So that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, that is a very nice contribution. Thank you for that. Maybe to also note that there are other people who could, the group is diverse and some other people have different needs apart from interior design. And that is why I thought of doing like a mentorship program so that people from other different fields can also be able to share their skill and help the people in that skill. So we'll be talking about that a bit later. We'll be opening it up so that if you have a skill in any other field, you can come forward and say, I am good in this particular field, can I share? And I am sure a lot of people will be able to learn from that as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. That way you're sharing your audience with everybody else. You're offering a platform for everyone else to be able to showcase whatever it is that they know. And sometimes we take for granted what you know. Let me give an example. Possibly I've been a receptionist and I've been working at this front office for the last 15 years. And I'm listening in and thinking, but what do I know? I don't know anything that I can share. Do you know how many things you have learned? There's so many things you have learned there about how to respond to people, how to deal with people of different temperaments, how there's a lot, how to manage your time and your space. There's a lot of things that you learn. Most of the time we take for granted what we know. I was having a conversation with a parent the other day, and we're in the season in life where now we are going towards the empty nest. Our children are growing up and moving out of our homes. And I'm talking to a parent who is saying, I'm very concerned. I'm not sure I've taught my children, because I was saying, when your children are adult, it's now time for you to trust what you have taught. And this person thinks, whoa, I'm not sure I have taught. And I said, hello, you have taught your children a lot, because more is caught than taught. So most of the things I know from my mom, I don't know from my mom telling me. I just know from my mom doing. Most of the things my children know about me, they know them from just watching me do, not necessarily me telling them what to do. So in the same way, there's a lot you know that you're taking for granted, Right now, do you know there's people who would pay you for your knowledge of Nairobi? If a tourist landed in Nairobi right now, they would pay you. They would actually be willing to pay you. My daughter's friend had her mom over. She comes from another country, and they wanted to take their mom around the city. They come from a smaller country than ours, but they wanted to take their mom around and see the city lights. They wanted to take their mom on a drive around town in the night. And they requested my daughter to come. These are people who have drivers and chauffeurs, but they wanted somebody who lives in Nairobi, who knows Nairobi, to go and show their mom around Nairobi. In other words, some of it, and I thought to myself, oh, wow, the things we take for granted. Your knowledge of Nairobi is something that somebody would appreciate. So she was happy to go and drive them around and point out the city, the different highlights in our city. And our city is very, very beautiful. We tend to take for granted the things we know. So for me, that became an obvious case, because it's something she wasn't thinking is something that's bottleable, something that somebody would appreciate, but just your knowledge of Nairobi is something that you can. I actually know a photographer who makes a career of taking pictures of Nairobi, and man, you should see the pictures that he posts. He takes an angle, you look at it and you're like, wow, do we live in a beautiful city? So everything that you know can be packaged. Somebody could benefit from it. So don't take for granted those skills that you have gained from your day-to-day activities, your job. All of that is information that will be bottled and sold. So the way to start is to start offering it for free. Just get on this channel, take advantage of what Monica is offering. Come on, and maybe by way of interview, maybe by way of you doing a post. I'm sure you and Monica can agree on how to do it, but there's a lot of ways in which you can share what you know and build up the life of someone else.
Thank you so much, Christine. That is so rich and impactful. I know we may not have all the time to go on, but you share a lot of content. Thank you for all those videos you post. I watch them religiously, and I know we are all inspired, and I'll be welcoming everyone that has just listened to us and who wants to, learn more from you. They can reach out to you as well. Maybe you can share how they can do that.
All right. My name, like I said, is Christine Watelli. Somewhere on this screen, there will be the spelling of my name. And I'm called Christine Watelli on everything. If you go to Facebook, LinkedIn, if you go to, what is it called? Instagram. My name is just Christine Watelli. But like I said, I have a YouTube channel, Life Lessons by Christine, on which I post videos every week. And so that's largely where you can find me. So I'll put a link below this. And so I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I would encourage you to share this content, and you and I can all learn together.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am thrilled. I keep learning afresh every time I talk to you, and I really appreciate this time with you. So the Intelligence Blueprint family, I'll be giving you more details about this, and looking forward to talking to you again. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much for having me. Bye.